So let's just grab this piece on the side, go in isolation mode on it. This one's also turbo smooth, so let's just take it down to 1 iteration, uncheck isoline display, and this could definitely be optimized a little bit better than it is. If you wanted to take a few of these edges out, you definitely could do that. You just want to make sure you don't take any out that are actually changing the profile, because then you might get some weird results, but I think I'm just going to leave it again for the sake of speed, so let's just convert it to poly. And we'll map it as is, so let's put the unwrap on top. Just pull my panel over here, and we could probably do this in 3 or 4 pieces. Let's maybe try cutting off this back part as one piece. So I'm just going to go to edge here, grab this edge right in the crack here, loop that, convert it to a seam, and we'll move to the front corner, and let's grab that center corner edge, loop that, convert it. For the inside here in the face, we could probably do this all as one piece. Let's go down here to the inside of the hole and just grab that corner edge if I can. There we go. Right there, loop it, convert it, and we'll have to do that on the inside here too. So let's zoom in, grab the inner corner, loop, convert, and we'll have to split it maybe underneath here. So let's zoom in down here. I'm just going to ignore that pre-made seam again and just grab the bottom edge, maybe this guy, just loop it. It'll go all the way up to the top, as you can see, and we don't really need these to be cut across the face here. So again, I'm just going to hold Alt and just deselect a couple of them. We will need to split across this one because we're going to cylindrical map the inside of the hole here. So leave that, but we don't need these ones right here. So just deselect them like that, and we'll get rid of these guys. We don't need those as well, or these, or these. All right, so just stop at the seam there, and we'll just let it go right down and underneath. All right, so convert to a seam. And I think that's all we'll need to do. So let's drop into face, and we'll just start on the back here, grab a poly, expand it. We could use a cylindrical here. We could also use maybe pelt. Let's just try cylindrical. Same with the outside of this part. Cylindrical map that, and let's do the face maybe with pelt. So we'll expand it, pelt it, stretch it out. We'll cylindrical map the inside of the hole, so expand the selection, cylindrical map it, and then for the inside there, we'll just planar map that because it's flat. Alright, there we go. And again, we have those weird seams cut in there. I'm just going to actually turn that off. And we'll have to be just mindful of that in here, that we don't have any broken seams. Alright, so let's turn the background checker off, turn on by element, and just pull our pieces out again. And open up the relax tool. Just relax down the front. We might get a little bit of distortion in here because of the angle, but it doesn't look too bad. Alright, so this is the outside, and we're going to squash this down again using scale. So let's change it to the vertical scale and just squash it down until we turn out kind of square. Like that maybe. And we're going to have some broken seams here, I think. Yeah, we do. So let's just turn off by element, grab vertex, and I'm just going to try to do these all at once. So we're just going to drag a selection, run all those verts, right click, well selected. And again, just make sure that the ones inside the island turn black and the border is the only thing that's green. Alright, so we'll do the same thing with the next piece. Let's grab this. You can see we actually have a face broken off here for some reason, so let's turn off by element here. Just grab this poly, break it off, and then we'll just move it over here, zoom in for a sec, grab this edge and right click and stitch, put it back in its place, and then we'll just weld these up. So let's grab these verts right here. You have to grab all these ones up the side, holding control. Okay, there we go. Right click, weld selected. And now we'll squish it. So let's grab our scale tool again and just start squishing it down. This isn't going to turn out perfect probably because of the angle we have on there. It's slightly curved, but I'm just going to get it kind of close. We could relax it as well. If we do, it's probably going to start bending it, which you can leave bent if you want to, but I usually like to try to straighten things out just so I save some space on my UVs and my texture, but that'll be up to you. Let's maybe scale it a little bit longer. And it's not a a huge focal point, so I'm not going to worry about making it too perfect. That's probably fine. Okay, and we got one more piece right there, so I'm just going to find out where that is. There it is right there. Okay, so same deal here, just select vertex, turn off by element, and just weld those verts up. Okay, and then turn it back on, grab face, and just give it a scale horizontally. Let's zoom in there so you can actually see what we're doing. Alright, that looks close enough, I think. So let's just close the relax tool. I'm going to rescale the elements now. And there's not really any good way to stitch this back together. We might be able to stitch the face onto the side here, but other than that, I think we're going to have to leave it. So let's just go to edge, turn off by element. I think this is that piece right here. Yeah, it is. So I'm just going to grab an edge. Again, your corresponding one that matches up with it will turn blue, so that one should work right there. So I'm just going to select that, right click, stitch. Just put the front back onto the side. And other than that, I'm just going to leave it. So let's just maybe stack these up a bit. All right, we'll put the inside of the hole up here, and we'll put our little end piece right there. And again, we might change the way we pack these, so I'm not worrying about it too much. All right, give it a bit of a uniform scale. Move it down, drop it, and that's it. All right, turn that off, and let's put our turbo smooth back on. Again, one iteration, no ice line. Take a quick look. That should work fine, I think. And don't worry about any weirdness you see like this right here. It's just the way that the UVs are laying out on our sheet here. So if you see anything like that, just check. It's not a mistake. That's these guys right here. And if you move it, you'll see it changes. Alright, it just happens to be where we dropped it. That looks kind of weird, but that's okay. Nothing to worry about. Alright, so let's exit. Might change the color on this piece as well to blue. And then we'll copy it over to the other side. So let's jump back into the front view. I'm going to change this from front to back now. Okay, just we're looking at the front of our model, and we'll just copy this over. So I'm just going to mirror it. We'll do it on the X and a copy. Say OK. And you can use the align tool if you want, or you can just manually move this over and line it up with the original one we had here. So I'm just going to do that. Maybe right there. Right, spin around here. Let's take a look in perspective. Alright, it looks like it's lined up pretty good, so we'll just grab the one we didn't map, which is that one right there, and delete it. Okay, so that takes care of those guys. So the next one we're going to do is these side pieces, and these are going to be a real pain in the ass to map, I think. But we should be able to do it. Let's just save again. So into isolation mode again, and let's take our iterations down to 1. Uncheck isolate again. And because of the way we modeled this, you can see it looks a little weird down here on the back. And that's just because we optimized it a bit, and we welded some of these together, so we actually have some triangles here. So what I might do to fix that is just, let's convert it to poly with one iteration on. And it might not cause any problems, but I think I'm going to straighten it out anyway. So I'm just going to go into edge here and grab that loop. All right, it's going to take a couple tries. It's not going to loop all the way around. So just grab a couple and hit loop until you get the entire loop selected all the way around the bottom here. You can see we actually have the same thing down here. So just grab all those. Then we can control click vertex to get a vert selection, and let's turn on our edge constraints up here. And I'm going to see if I can straighten these out. So I'm just going to make planar on the X. Alright, just to kind of straighten out, and because we have the edge constraints on, they're not going to actually pop off the edge, so it's not going to give us a bulge. Okay, so that's a little better. Let's maybe try to do that same thing to this guy right here. So again, we're just going to grab the whole loop. Okay, let's make sure to get these ones. Loop those, control click vertex. And again, we'll just hit X. Okay, and we have a little bit of a shading problem down here. That's because we have an overlapping vert, as you can see. So let's just go to target weld and just grab that guy and weld them maybe over here. That should take care of it. Let's check the other side. Doesn't look too bad. Let's maybe grab this one right here. I'm just going to turn off target weld first. And I might try to slide this forward if I can. Alright, it looks like we might have a missed weld here. I'm just going to zoom in. And yeah, we do. So just going to do that for a sec. Let's grab all these verts right here. And it looks like it's actually 3 overlapping, so let's weld. And yours might not have that problem, but if it does, just weld them together and then just move it up on the Y here. Again, with the edge constraints turned on, just to kind of straighten out the loop. And let's check our top and make sure we don't have anything unwelded. Alright, just grab these ones, check it. It looks like we have 3 up there as well, so let's weld those together. and then just pull the loop straight. Okay, and we'll do the same thing down here on this last one. Just grab a couple edges, hold Control, hit loop. This one looks like it might go all the way around, so Control click vertex. Again, make planar on X, and you can see it's kind of bent here, so let's jump out and go into the right view, just hit Z. And I'm just going to use rotate here, which the edge constraint is still turned on, and just spin this a bit until it's kind of straightened out. And that should be good enough. Again, it might not cause us any problems, but it's better to be safe than sorry. So that looks good. So let's put the unwrap on now. Drop into edge. We're going to have to hack this up into a bunch of pieces. So let's turn off our map seams display. And I think we'll start right on the back here. So I'm just going to zoom into the top corner. Just grab that corner edge again, up there in the corner, and loop it. And this should pretty much go all the way around the back face, as you can see. We're going to have to connect it up right here though, so let's Control click this edge. Again, on the corner, just make sure your seams match up on the top and bottom, and then convert to a seam. So we'll planar map the back face. We're going to have to cut around the slot here as well, so let's zoom in there, turn our edges with F4, grab an edge, loop it. This one should go all the way around, so just hit convert to seam. Take a quick look, make sure it did. That looks good, so we'll just planar map this face. We're going to do the same thing on the outside. So again, just zoom in on the corner, grab an edge, loop it, take a look, make sure it folds all the way around. I think what I might do is just planar map the back separately, so I'm just going to cut it off. So I'm just going to do the same thing we did on this side, just Control click an edge here, loop it, convert to a seam. Alright, and then we'll have to cut the slot out, so let's zoom in here. Again, just grab a corner edge, loop it, convert it. And for the inside faces, what I might do is try to unwrap it in a couple of different chunks. So I'm going to split it right up here on the top of the slot where you won't really see it. So we'll grab this loop right here, loop that. It's going to fall all the way up again, so let's turn off ignore back facing here, and I'm just going to alt drag a couple times just to deselect those ones. Alright, zoom in with Z, just go to the seam there, go around to the outside, do the same thing, just get rid of these ones, and then just convert it. Alright, and let's do the same thing back here. We might put it back together, but for now we'll just grab this one, loop it. Again, we're going to have to deselect some. If you don't want to have to do this, you can just use point to point and just go seam to seam. Either way, it doesn't matter. Alright, so just get rid of everything you don't want. This guy we don't need, and we'll go around to the side and just make sure it's matching up with our blue seam. It's almost impossible to tell. Alright, there we go. Convert that. So that should take care of the slot, and I'm going to try to unfold the inside and the outer lip as one piece. It might not work, but we'll see what happens. For the outer faces here, we're going to have to hack this up again, so let's maybe split it right here on the top corner. Let's just use point to point here. Might be a little quicker. Alright, so we're going to start right on the seam, go right across, go around to the inside, and click on that center edge we started on. Right click, convert that to a seam as well. And hopefully you can see this okay with the video compression. And we're going to move down to where we have this little angled piece, and I'm going to split it right on this corner as well. So again, with point to point, just start on the seam, go across, rotate around to the back. Alright, it's a little awkward here. Alright, I'm just going to right click, and if you get so you can't really rotate properly, just grab any edge somewhere close to where you want your camera to focus on, and just hit Z. Okay, and it'll reset your rotation to that point. Okay, so we need to continue this from the corner here around to the back, right there. Alright, and this is going to give us a problem back here, so let's also split this one. It's going to start on the inside corner, on seam, go to the outside, and across to the front. Spin around here and just make sure it's going to match up. There we go. So that'll come off as two pieces. This we can probably do as one, and I'm going to try to do the long strip underneath here as one piece. We might have to hack that up, but I'll leave it for now. We'll see what happens. Let's just go around to the bottom here at the back and just cut off this face. Okay, so I'm just going to use edge again. Let's grab maybe this guy right here and that one and this one. Loop. And that one should match up with the seam on both sides, so just convert it, go down to the bottom, do the same thing. So we're going to grab this one right here, that one, and the one on the top right there. Loop, convert. And I think that might be all we need to do, so let's just see if we can get it to flatten out. So let's go to face. May as well start right on the outside here, so I'm just going to grab any polygon, expand it. We'll just planar map the outside. And we'll planar map the inside. So expand your selection, planar map. And we'll just start doing the outside. So I'm going to start on the top, up here. Expand the selection. It should stop on the top corner and the inside of the slope here. So just check and make sure. If it's starting to select other stuff, just zoom in there and make sure you don't have any open seams. And we'll just pelt this, I think. So let's pelt, pull it out, move down to the next piece. Same thing, pelt. And the back, expand it, pelt it. The back one here, we can just expand that and let's just planar map it. And we'll grab the last piece, which is right here. Pelt that. Okay, that takes care of the outside trim piece. We need to do the inside of the slots. Let's just grab a face in there, expand it. It should only select half of the slot faces. Pelt it again, and we'll finally do this one with pelt. Okay, so that's all of them. Let's throw our checker pattern on. And I don't think we're really going to be able to get this too sweet looking. It's going to be a bit of a mess either way, so I'm just going to kind of try to organize it as best I can. But I don't think we'll be able to stitch it back together. So let's just turn on by element again. Sort our pieces out. So there's a piece of the trim. There's another piece of the trim. Another piece. Just going to line these up so I can tell what's what. That's the slot. That's the back, put that over there, and that's the other piece of the slot. And this is our back piece and our two faces, inside and outside. Okay, so let's start maybe with the main pieces here. I'm just going to zoom in, straighten them out a bit with rotate. And let's open up our relax tool again, change our amount to 1, face angles, and we'll just relax it down quickly on both pieces. And you can always hit F2 just to turn your shading off if it's easier to see. That looks alright. So let's grab the back piece, which is the end here. Just do that a couple times. Okay. And the trim pieces that go around the outside are going to be a little bit of a challenge, but we'll just get them as straight as we can. So I'm just going to rotate it, relax it. And because we do have some weird topology on there from when we optimized it, these probably aren't going to turn out absolutely perfect. So I don't think I'll worry about actually straightening them out like we did with some of the other ones. But we'll just do a quick relax on it. And we'll just kind of line them up. They're out of scale with each other right now, but I'm going to scale them after. So we'll just rotate them horizontally, relax them a couple times, and just move them over. Alright, there's this piece here. Let's rotate this guy. And this is the long strip from underneath over here, so it might not straighten out all the way. If it doesn't, you can just break it in half and do it in 2 pieces. Alright, looks like it's getting twisted right here, so let's try edge angles, see if that's any improvement. Alright, let's stop that, just change it back to face, and see if we can get it to straighten out the rest of the way. And you could use the straighten selection option, but I think because of those weird faces we have down here, it might screw that up, but I'm going to try anyway. So we'll just hit that. And yeah, you can see it here. It's completely screwed, so we're going to have some major distortion down here in our mapping. As you can see right here, it's stretched, so I'm just going to undo that. Control Z a couple times, and we'll just leave it slightly bent. If you wanted to go in there and manually, straighten it out, you could, but I'm just going to leave it for the sake of speed again, and we'll just continue on with the slot pieces, which are these guys right here. These ones we might be able to straighten out because we didn't optimize the mesh in there. We don't have any triangles as far as I know. So I'll try the straighten selection on this piece and see what happens. That looks good, so we'll do it on these guys. And again, that's optional. You don't have to, make it perfectly straight. No one's going to really notice if it's perfect or not. Alright, so I'm just going to rotate them over and maybe stitch them back together. So let's go back to edge, turn off sync to element. I'm just going to grab some edges here. Okay, there's the top ones, and I think I want to leave the seam up there because it's probably going to be the least noticeable spot. Actually, you know what? Let's do it down at the bottom there. So I am going to stitch it up there. Alright, so just get those ones selected at the top and just right click and stitch selected. And then again, I'm just going to grab the whole chunk on face with element turned on and just straighten again. Okay, just to even it out. Okay, so with nothing selected, let's hit rescale elements again. Get everything into the right scale, and let's just maybe quickly organize this. So I'm just going to grab the back little tiny piece, this guy, and just butt it up against the side here. And let's maybe grab the inside face and just move it down here maybe. And this is the inside of the slot, so I'm just going to stack that maybe underneath. And then we have all these pieces that make up the trim, so let's maybe just line them up down here. Again, I'm not really sure how I want to pack them, so we'll just line them up. And you can see that the blue edge is over here, so we need to rotate this one over. Alright, 180. And I think this one needs to be rotated as well. And we'll grab the next ones. Let's get this out of the way. And this long one, I'm just going to put underneath here and just rotate it a little bit. Good enough. So grab everything, scale it down just a little bit more, and just park it somewhere. Alright, so let's close up our rollout and just take a look here. We are going to have to apply the Turbo Smooth one more time, so let's do that right now. One iteration, no isolon. Take a look. Okay, for the most part it's not too bad. You can see we have a little bit of stretching down here, and that's probably because I didn't relax the piece after I straightened it out, so I think it's going to be hidden by our pin in there, so I don't think you're really going to notice it too much. So I'm just going to leave it for the sake of speed. But you can continue to work on that if you want to. So with that one done, I'm just going to change the color to blue again. And we'll copy it over to this side. So let's go back to the back view. Alright, zoom out, and we'll just mirror this. Again, we want to do on the x-axis and a copy. And okay, our pivot point's still centered on our post here, so it should line up perfectly. And we'll just zoom into perspective here and just grab the piece that isn't mapped, which is the black one, and just delete that out of there. Alright, so let's turn off our edges, just take another look. And I think that should work out fine, so let's definitely do a save here. Don't want to have to redo that. And we might as well just do these center pieces here. They're really simple, so let's just grab one of those, go into isolation mode. This is really easy, obviously, to map, so we'll just put the unwrap on. Go to edge, just grab an edge underneath on the bottom, loop it, convert it to a seam. Okay, I'm just going to turn off the map seams again, and that's all I really need to do, so let's just grab a polygon, expand our selection, cylindrical map it, throw the checker on, turn off our shading with F2, open the editor window, turn off our background, and let's just use scale again here. Alright, squash it down until they're kind of square. Looks good enough, I think. Let's just check for broken verts. We have one right here. Right click while it's selected, and I think that takes care of that one. So again, let's just move it out of the 0 to 1, drop it, and we'll just close up the rollout. Change our color to blue. And I'm just checking to make sure my seam's underneath, and it looks like it is. So again, if yours isn't, just rotate your piece and try to hide it like we did earlier. But that looks good, so let's just copy it over, replace the other one on the other side. So again, we're going to mirror it on the X, copy, okay. And it should still match up because our pivot point's right in the center there. If it's not, just manually move it over until it fits on top of the original, and then just grab that original one and delete it. Okay, and let's grab this center piece here, and we'll just do this quickly as well. It's pretty simple. So let's put the unwrap on. We have to cut off the ends here, so let's turn off our map seams first, and let's just go to edge and zoom in here. I'm just going to grab an edge on the inside, maybe right there, and we'll grab it on the outside holding control. Just gonna do it on the, let's do it on the inside of the chamfer. Okay, on this edge instead of this one. I think it'll be more hidden there, so we'll loop. Go around to the other side, do the same thing. Grab the one on the inside of the hole and the outside of it. Alright, loop, convert to a seam, and then go underneath. Grab an edge, loop, and let's just convert that to a seam right now. And again, to split our face right here, so let's go to edit seams this time, and just alt click these couple of ones. We don't need those split. Go around to the other end, do the same thing, just alt click them. We are going to need the one here, so just leave that one on top on the inside, but other than that you can get rid of those. Alright, turn that off. Just go to polygon, grab the inside of the hole, hit F2 if you can't see your shading. Expand the selection, we'll just do a cylindrical map on this. Do the same thing on this side. Cylindrical map. And for the ends we'll expand it, just do a planar map here, and a planar map on this side. And then for the main body of it, we'll just use the cylindrical map again. Alright, throw the checker on, open our editor window, get rid of that background so we can see, and again just turn on by element here and just pull your pieces of it. And let's open up relax. Alright, crank that up to 1 again. Let's use face angles this time. And we'll do both end caps first, so just relax those down a couple times. We have some broken verts again right there, so let's go to vertex and just weld those up before we do anything else. I'm going to zoom in here and just grab these ones. Well selected. Everything all looks good on that piece. That one doesn't look broken. And I think that one's good as well. Okay, so back to scale. Zoom in here. And just start squashing these down again. Okay, and you can see what's happening here. When I scale it, it automatically pops back to the original aspect, and I have no idea what the hell causes this. It seems to be a glitch in 2012, so I'm just gonna see if I can fix this, and my brother Ben figured out a way to get rid of that, so I'm just gonna use his technique. So I'm just gonna close the relax tool, let's close our unwrap window. And you don't have to do this unless you're having the problem. And I'm just gonna close the roll up for this, and then right click and convert this to editable poly. Reapply the unwrap modifier on top, and we'll go back into our editor window, and hopefully it's fixed itself. Alright, let's turn off our checker, go back to face and turn on element, and we'll change our scale back to horizontal, or vertical, sorry, and let's see if we can get that to work now. Okay, there we go. And yeah, I have no idea what causes that, but I'm glad he figured out a way to fix it, because it's a little bit annoying. Alright, so I'm just going to scale those down until they look fairly square, and we'll just keep working. So let's grab the one on the other side, squash it down, like that. Grab the outside, and just do the same thing. Alright, square enough, and I'm just going to rescale the elements now. And I don't think we're really going to be able to put it back together, so let's just maybe stitch our ends back onto the outside of the cylinder. So I'm just going to grab an edge up here, right click and stitch, grab one at the bottom, right click and stitch, and we'll just move our other two pieces just somewhere else on here. Let's just drop them maybe down here for now, and we'll scale everything down uniformly. So switch to uniform scale, just give it a little shrink, and then just stick it up outside of the 0 to 1. Alright, so let's turn off the unwrap, exit isolation mode. Just going to change my color to blue. Okay, and you can see I have that seam there. I'm pretty sure I cut my pelt seam underneath, but I'm not sure. Just going to take a quick look here. Okay, it doesn't look like I did, so we definitely don't want to leave the seam right there. So let's just go to rotate again, and just rotate the piece to hide it. Okay, just hide that seam underneath where no one will see it, like that. And I think that should be good for that piece. Alright, so let's turn that off. So we'll start working, I think, on the center post next, and then we're going to have to come down here and do something with the back, and these are going to be a little tricky as well because they're all subdivided, but we'll be doing those in the next part. For now, let's do another save.